Plaintiff Spiro Katetchis says he's married to the defendant's sister. And although he loves the defendant, he believes she makes bad decisions when it comes to men. Spiro claims the defendant's ex was an alcoholic, and she drove him to drink. He's suing his sister-in-law for the cost of a cruise. Defendant Krista Glenn says Spiro has some nerve talking about her when he's the one whose house got raided for dealing drugs. Krista admits that Spiro paid for her to go on a cruise, but she claims the cruise ship did not follow the itinerary they paid for. So Spiro should get a refund from the cruise line.
Start with you.
All right. I just want to start by saying, listen, I'm a family man. I love my family. I'll do anything for my family. My sister-in-law, I love her. And it saddens me that I'm here in front of you today and I had to bring her to court. Unfortunately, she hasn't made the best decisions in her life, you know, especially when it comes to relationships. Her last relationship, you know, was a pretty rough one. The man ended up being an alcoholic. Didn't work.
Ended up?
Yeah, he was good.
He didn't start out. Did she drive the man drinking, or was he already drinking?
Well, when I first met him, you know, he was sober, you know, he was...
So that means she drove him to drinking. Did you drive your last man to drinking?
No, Your Honor, I didn't drive him to drink. It wasn't my fault. He was an alcoholic. It's in his family, though, unfortunately. He didn't start off that way. We were together for 5 years.
And he wasn't drinking then?
He wasn't drinking then.
But then he began to drink.
Yes, but it wasn't...
And you all were still together?
Exactly.
You drove him to drinking. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Drove the man drinking. Go ahead.
Anyway, the guy, he was a real piece of work, you know. So going back to what I was saying, her decisions in relationships have not been great. There's a couple guys...
I'm sorry, hold on. If he started off as a great person and the first 5 years were wonderful, how is that a bad decision? How would I predict the future that he was going to...
Like Judge Mathis said,
that's what I was going to say. You're good. That's what I was going to say. You're good.
Defendant Krista Glenn is being sued by her brother-in-law, who she claims had his house raided because he was a drug dealer.
What background do you want to give me on your brother-in-law, ma'am? And then we'll get to the cruise that he's suing you about.
Yeah, Spiro is, he's no angel himself. He's a member of a motorcycle gang.
Excuse me, it's a motorcycle club and that has no bearing on the case.
Well, you said things that have no bearing on the case, so she has an opportunity to respond in that way.
He's a member of a motorcycle gang that deals with drugs.
Excuse me, sir, motorcycle club. Motorcycle
I heard
club.
you the first time, sir. Go ahead.
When him and my sister first had an apartment together...
You said they deal in drugs?
Well, he was dealing, yes, and the cops raided their house.
Yo,
sir, go ahead. The police raided his house?
Yes. They moved to New York City. I didn't have much contact with my sister in those years.
But your sister told you that the police raided her house?
Oh, no, I know that. That was when they still lived in Niagara Falls, yes.
Gotcha.
Yep, I knew about that one.
What else?
He's just very controlling. He likes to keep tabs on her nonstop. If she goes to the store, he wants to know why she's gone so long. If she spends any money, he's calling back to find out how much she spent and checking receipts.
You're 100% wrong on that.
All right. Sir, what's the cruise?
All right, sir. On March 3rd, I booked a cruise for my wife and my 2 daughters. A family cruise.
Of 14?
Yes. So my sister-in-law with my niece came over to the house, and they were excited. My daughter was excited, told them about the cruise, and she had asked me how much the cruise was, the details, and she had asked me to find out details, to call up the cruise company, the line, to find out about how much everything's gonna cost. So I did. I told her the information, I told her how much it was gonna cost, and she goes, do me a favor, please. Could you please pay for it? I go, I can't loan you money for the cruise, I don't have it like that. She goes, no, as soon as we get back on April the 14th, I will pay you back everything in full. I go, you promise? Because I need this money. I'm taking it for my business, and I'm taking it out of that account, and I'm going to pay for it. She goes, yes. So I called up the cruise line. I paid for everything. And on April 6th, we departed. We drove from Buffalo to New York City, got on the ship. When we got to check in for the cruise, there's a $12 a day gratuity per person. So it came out to $336 that she didn't have. So what ended up happening, she comes to me, she's like, listen, I need this money up front, or I can't go on the ship, you know? So I put the cash, I gave the cash right then to the lady that checks you in to put on for the gratuity. As soon as we got back on the 13th, drove back to Buffalo. The following day, that was the 14th, I believe, but yes, April 14th, I called her up. I'm like, listen, I need that money. She was giving me some song and dance. She didn't have it right there, just give her a couple of days. I go, listen, I'll give you 2 more weeks. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. In 2 weeks, I want my money.
Or the club's coming by.
That's right.
Motorcycle club, exactly.
Gang. Go ahead.
Come on, Your Honor. So I gave her 2 weeks. All of a sudden, what did she say to me? I have to call the cruise line to get a refund because we didn't go to a private island due to the weather. I'm like, excuse me? What does that have to do with anything? I can't control the weather, nor do I'm not the captain.
I know she's not going to tell me that, ma'am. Let me hear from you regarding this cruise.
Most of it is right. I did borrow the money from him. He's correct about that, but he got the end of it wrong. Okay, first of all, when we were on the cruise, the weather was terrible. It was like 60 degrees, 50 degrees. It was windy, like overcast the whole time. I figured like it'd be like that in New York, obviously, because we left from New York. But once we started heading south, I thought it would get better, and it just never cleared up. So once we got down towards the Bahamas, they told us that we were not going to the private islands. That was like the main reason we wanted to go on the cruise, was for the private islands.
Like I could control the weather, like I'm God or something.
I would know you can't control the weather. So yeah, so when we did get home, it was the very next day, not 2 weeks later, that I told him that he needs to call the cruise for breach of itinerary.
What are you talking about? It was 2 weeks.
No, it was not.
Hold on, sir. Let me allow her to try and make sense. What?
Defendant Krista Glenn is being sued by her brother-in-law, who she claims had his house raided because he was a drug dealer.
You told him to call the cruise line for what?
Well, they had a specific itinerary that they were supposed to follow, like places that we were supposed to go. We did not go to the
What if there was a
private
hurricane?
island.
You still would have expected to go there?
I wouldn't expect to go there, no, but
Would you have expected to pay?
I expected to be reassured for
That's
the money, or at least
because
some
of
the money,
bad
because
weather.
we did not go to
You
where we were
believe
supposed
that
to
the
go.
cruise line should reimburse for bad weather?
Well, yes, I do. Because
Okay.
we didn't go.
What gave you that impression?
Because we didn't go to where they said that we were going to go
I
to.
know,
That was
but
the main reason
I know that. We both established that. But what makes you think that a cruise ship should give you your money back when it rains?
Sir, I don't have another answer for you. I told you that.
I know you don't have an
I'm just
answer
saying,
for
like,
me. What do you have you wanted to
I
show
got
me,
something
sir?
from the cruise line stating an itinerary changes, and I got some other evidence there for you, sir. I just want my money.
And you're going to get it. Itinerary change in the event of strikes, lockouts, shortage, stoppage of labor, riots, weather conditions, has the right to cancel, advance, postpone, or substitute any scheduled sailing or itinerary without prior notice. This is common sense. We don't need this, sir. $3,417. Please stop selling her the drugs. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Hey, listen. Listen, I love you.
Don't.
Yo, I love you. We can put this behind us. Pay me. We're good. You're my sister. I love you. We got this. We can put this behind us now, and we can move on. And money will never come between family again because I'm not borrowing money.
My family, sweetie.
Oh, really?
My sister's my
Don't
family.
ever come asking me for any help.
My family.
Don't ever come asking me for help again. Don't give me those calls. Let me get some help. Boom.